Hi, this is Karen Greenhouse, and today I'm going to show you how to plot a vertical line on both a Casio Prizm and a TI-84. And just remember, what I do on the 84, you can also do on the 83. What I want to show you is the differences and how the Casio actually allows you to see points, whereas the TI-84 does not because of its limited functionality. So let's go to the calculators. You'll see I have the emulators for both on the screen. They look different when they start. Casio has an actual menu of options where you can choose what you are interested in doing. On the TI, you have a blank screen and you have to find what you want to do by choosing some of these buttons. So you kind of have to know which button you want to use in order to get to where you want to go. So we want to go to the graph menu on the Casio. So I can either hit the number 5 and it'll take me right there, or I could arrow down and hit execute, which enters me, and it takes me to my y equals. On the TI-84, I know I'm going to go into graph, so my y equal buttons will take me right there. So they look kind of similar. We're both in the y equals button. So for this, I want to graph a vertical line. So on the on the Casio Prizm, I want to change the type of graph. So F3 changes the type. I can change into lots of different options, but we're looking for x equals vertical line. So we're going to choose F4. It changes my y's to x's, and now I can enter my plot, what I want, my vertical line. So I want x equals 3. We're going to do a very simple one. So I enter the 3, have x equals. I hit execute to set it, and now I could choose my draw or graph button by hitting F6, and there is my graph of x equals 3. The TI-84 is a little similar, at least in looks. So again, I don't have y equals here. I want to do x equals. There's a couple ways you could do it. You could use the app menu, go into n equals, and enter a graph there. But a quicker way to do the same exact thing, so it gets you the same results, is you'll notice up here at the top there's a little x equals. So to get to it, if I hit the up arrow, it takes me to x equal. I hit enter, which on the TI is how you set something. Casio is an execute. And you'll see now I have x equals. So I'm going to kind of arrow over. I'm going to enter my x equals 3. I hit enter to set it. Just like the Casio, I had to set it. And now I hit graph. Notice they're kind of in the same place. F6 is how I draw on the Casio. Graph's how I graph on the TI. So when I do it, looks very similar, right? So far we look very similar. The difference being is on the Casio, this is a true plot, meaning when I hit trace, I am immediately attached to the plot, which is what you want when you're working with students. You want it to be attached to the plot so that they can trace the points that are on that plot and make some conjectures. So I am on this plot, and if I use my left and right arrow keys, it takes me up or down my plot and lets me see actual coordinates on my grid here, right? So I can, and what I love about the Casio is you see the actual coordinate points right here. You see them down here as well, but you also see them, they follow the point. So that's really nice. And you kind of see this vertical thing where it's kind of telling you how we're getting that coordinate point. So the nice thing is, very nicely, you see a great visual of how x remains constant while the y is changing. That's our vertical line. The difference here on the TI-84 is this actually is not a plot. It is a drawing of a vertical line at 3. So it looks very similar, but if I go to trace, where I want to actually see some points, get some coordinates that are on that line, that vertical line, when I hit trace and enter, trace and start things, notice my trace is not on the plot because the calculator does not see that as a plot. It's a drawing, so it's not going to attach itself. It's attached itself, you'll notice, to the x axis here, but not to the actual plot as it should. So I can get close using my trace. I'm going to kind of use my arrows and get as close as I can. It's going awfully slow, isn't it? So I'm going to get close, but notice and I'm looking down here at this, I can never actually, I hit it a couple too many times there. I can never try, this is pretty close. Okay, this is about as close as I can get, again, because it's just a drawing. It's not an actual plot of a vertical line. It's a drawing of a line at 3. So if I arrow up, I can move along at 303, but they're not exact coordinates because this is not exactly on x equals 3. It's almost on x equals 3, but it's not exact. So because it's a drawing, you can't actually get true coordinates, which makes when you want to do something like find the intersection of, or what's the difference between a vertical line and a horizontal line. Let's go back into our y equals. Let's do the same thing for both. Notice I don't see my x equals anymore. If I want to see my x equal in a TI-84, I have to go back up to it, hit enter. There it is. But then if I want to go up to y, if I want to see y equals, I have to go up again and hit enter. And there's my y equal. Whereas on a Casio, let's say I want to enter y equals 3. So I want to see both graphs. I want to see what's the difference between x3, y equals 3. On a Casio, I have to look at them in two different places. And when I hit graph, I can see them. Same color, so I don't know which one's which at this point. So let's do the same thing here, but here's my x equals 3 on a Casio. I can actually, within the same screen, change the type. So I'm on this second one here, and this time I want this second one to be y equals, and let's hit 3, execute, and let me just show you. They're both on the exact same screen together, so I can tell I'm going to plot two different things, x equals 3, y equals 3. When I hit draw, again, just like on the TI, I see them both, but they're in two different colors. And now when I hit trace on the Casio, I can toggle, again, the trace is attaching to my plot. So it's right now, you'll see it's attached to my vertical line. If I toggle, it will attach to my horizontal line, and I can see the difference in colors. I can see the difference in where the point is. I can move along, and I can actually get close to, say that intersection there. I can toggle and go up and down and see my coordinates as well on either line. So I see my coordinates no matter which line I toggle to, I see my coordinates on both. So I can make some great conjectures, comparisons, what's changing, what's not changing. If I try to do the same thing here on the TI-84, remember this vertical line is not a true plot. It is just a drawing. So when I hit trace, notice it attaches itself to the true plot, and the y equals 3 is a true plot, but this is a drawing, so there's no way for me to get to this line without an approximation. So while it's similar in what they look like and how you do it, what you're really getting on the 84 is a drawing of a vertical line, not a true plot, so you can't find actual specific coordinates correctly. When on the Casio, you get a true plot where you can find coordinates, you can add another line and find intersections and things like that. So the Casio has much more functionality, and it allows you to see in two different places. You can see the two plots that you're creating there and in the graph, and you can actually find actual coordinate points for both. So that's one of the main differences. Similar and yet better functionality with the Casio. So that's it. Have a good day.